Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today we answer the age-old question, which is can Gruul be competitive in today's standard? We are currently at Diamond 1 on the ladder, and I want to see if we can get to Mythic using this deck. This is a version of the Modify and Destroy deck that I've been playing in Standard a lot, based around these two cards, Thundering Raiju and Kodama of the West Tree. These both have effects when your creatures are modified, modified being equipment, auras you control, and counters are modifications. So anything that has an aura on it, equipment on it, or counter on it is modified. Thundering Raiju is the 4-costing 3/3 spirit with haste. Whenever it attacks, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then Thundering Raiju deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than Thundering Raiju. Now, the idea being really is that Thundering Raiju is our closer in the deck. By the time we're playing this, we kind of want to be winning that turn or the turn after. If we're not, we're probably already dead. This paired with Kodama, which gives modified creatures you control have trample. So it's getting our creatures through any little blockers that are around, and whenever a modified creature you control is combat damage to a player, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Not so relevant in this deck because we're not really ramping into anything. It can be nice with the Shivan Devastator, but to be honest, it's more about the giving our creatures trample. Why do we want to give our creatures trample? Well, both the Raiju and Kodama are not the hugest creatures, but they can both get half-decent stat lines, especially if Raiju has attacked a couple of times. But we're also running Quirion Beastcaller, which is the 2/2 Dryad Warrior. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Quirion Beastcaller. When it dies, distribute its counters to other creatures, basically. So every time we cast any of the creatures in this deck, of which we have 22, so just over a third of our deck, this creature is going to grow. So the idea is this could be a 5/5, 6/6, 7/7, and then we give it trample with Kodama. All of a sudden our opponent is worried because it tramples over. We are, of course, running Kumano faces Kakkazan. This puts counters on stuff, which works well with our modified cards. It's also just incredible value in one card. What new cards are we playing? We are playing the Witchstalker Frenzy. The Witchstalker Frenzy see quite a bit of play on the ladder at the moment. It's a 4-costing instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature that attacked this turn. It deals 5 damage to target creature. Now, obviously, we are often attacking with lots of creatures in this deck. That is kind of the point of the deck. If we're not doing that, we're probably not winning anyway. So this often goes down to be a 1-costing spell to do 5 damage to target creature. The reason we need this is quite obvious. This is the presence of one little card called Sheldred in the format. We need a spell that can do 5 damage to get rid of cards like that, but there's all sorts of creatures that we want out of the way that this will help us deal with. We're also running Goddric, the Cloaked Reveler. Now this is kind of a bit of a powerhouse in any decks that are trying to be aggro decks at the moment. Goddric is a 3/3 human noble with haste. We played it in the Boros Celebration deck because it has Celebration. As long as 2 or more non-land opponents enter the battlefield under your controller's turn, he becomes a 4/4 dragon with base power and toughness 4/4. With pay red and dragons you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Now we are actually playing some other dragons which have some small synergies with Goddric. One of which being the Shivan Devastator, which is the mythic 0/0 Dragon Hydra, X and red, enters the battlefield with X/1/1 counters on it. Now obviously it has counters, so it means it works well with these two. It is a dragon, so if we ever get to play the red and pump Goddric, we can pump the Devastator as well. And we also have a bit of dragon synergy with Invasion of Tarkir, which is the 2-costing mythic siege battle, which is whenever it enters the battlefield, reveal any number of dragon cards from your hand. When you do, it deals X+2 to any other target. Now the only dragon we can ever reveal is this one, because Goddric will never be a dragon in our hand. In our hand he's just a human noble. But if we do ever flip this to be Defiant Thundermaw by dealing 5 damage to it, we have the 4/4 dragon, flying trample. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target. Now, Goddric could be a dragon when he attacks if 2 things have entered the battlefield. Shivan Devastator will be, as will the Thundermaw. So we do have a little sub-theme of dragons in the deck. Other new cards are Ruby the Daring Tracker. Ruby is a red or green uncommon from the new set. She's a 1/2 legendary human scout, hence why we're only running 2, is that she's legendary. She has haste. And when she attacks, whilst you control a creature of power 4 or greater, she gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So attacking whilst we have a 4/4, she's a 3/4. Now the Beastcaller is quite often a 4/4, as is Questing Druid, which we'll come to in a second, as is Raiju. So it's and so will Goddric be if the celebration has been triggered. So we often have a 4 power creature to trigger Ruby, which is nice. We are also running the Questing Druid, as I mentioned. Now, this is kind of what I'm hoping is going to make the deck viable. The thing that Gruul has always struggled with since I've been playing Standard is that you can't really draw cards, and you get your creatures removed and then you just sort of run out of gas. Now, Questing Druid is a new rare. It's 1 and a green for a 1/1 human druid. Whenever you cast a spell that's white, blue, black or red, you put a 1/1 counter on him. Now, we do have some only green cards in Kodama and Beastcaller, but the rest of our deck, as you will notice, has red in the cost, including rubies. All these cards will cause Questing Druid to grow, but also it has an adventure, which is Seek the Beast, 1 and a red for an instant, exile the top 2 cards of your library until your next end step. You may play those cards. So, ideally we want to cast this in our opponent's turn, because if we cast it in our turn, we've spent 2 of our mana already, and then we've got 2 cards that we need to try and play with our remaining mana. Now in this deck we're not going to have tons of mana lying around. However, if we cast it in our opponent's turn, we then go through our untapped step before we need to try and play those cards. So it's kind of key to play this almost always in our opponent's turn, and there may or may not be times where I try to do it in my own time and get a bit screwed in the video, so watch out for that. And Questing Druid is kind of what I'm hoping will get us the extra cards to get across the line, not to mention it has a similar effect to Beastcaller in that it can grow. Now, it doesn't grow as often, although we do have lots of red cards. Most of our cards are creatures as well, so they're going to trigger the Beastcaller anyway, and Kodama and Beastcaller aren't going to trigger it, and it starts as a 1/1 rather than a 2/2, so it's more about the fact that it's got the adventure as well. But I'm hoping it's going to make a big difference in the deck for us. On top of that, we're running 1 Squee, just for a bit of a recursive threat, only 1 copy because it's legendary, and then 2 of Monstrous Rage, which is the new instant spell. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn, and you create a monster roll token attached to it. Now obviously it's a little combat trick that you've probably all seen on the ladder, given that every mono red deck runs 4 of these. The reason I think it could be useful in this deck is that because it adds a monster roll token to our creature, that modifies the creature. So it works well with Kodama, works well with Thundering Raiju, and it is an extra permanent to enter the battlefield for Goddric. So I feel like all in all, that's the kind of lots of little modify themes, a sub-theme of dragons, 24 lands. Let's see if we can make Gruul work. Let's see if we can get to Mythic. Okay. Jason Orifice. Interesting name. Not a perfect opener, but probably acceptable. We kind of need to play this out as a creature. Can I stop drawing lands? Got 5 in the top 9 already. Denick is okay, I suppose. I think we'll just pass, because I want this as a... I could just use it to kill this, but I got no real... It doesn't give me any real enjoyment. What I would like is to pop my Invasion of Tarkir. Opponent has broken. Should we try do? Please, opponent. Please? Anything? Anything at all? Why hasn't it roped them yet? Am I timed out? Oh no, they're just the ropes just takes forever. Could be that they... this could be a bit paranoid, but I sometimes think, like, do people recognize my name and go to see if I'm on Twitch so they can ghost me, or like, I don't know, probably not, but you never know. This is probably more likely just Magic the Gathering Arena doing what it does and crashing on them, or classic random player joins game, thinks, do you know what I need now? A cup of tea. Goes off to make their cup of tea, lets their rope rope them down. Then normally they wait until it's just about to time them out like this, and then they come back and they attack. Come on, Jason, what are you doing with your orifices? Nothing. Sweet. Sweet nothing. I think if we play something and they time out now, we just win, right? Then that's one win in the bag. Then we'll be on our way to Mythic. La 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 ba ba. These are quite cool sleeves, aren't they? Very nice compared to these. Nah, man, nah, not about that. This is much more interesting. Cool art. Very cool. Also, having to listen to this constant cauldron crackling whilst we get roped is just painful. Please. Next game. What are we actually at? Diamond 1, 4 pips. Okay. Maybe a bit more exciting game this time. I kept that last game in just to show you, like, it was a blindingly fast start, to be honest, and that is what this deck should hopefully deliver again. We've only got 2 lands this time, so we do need land. There we go. We'll always go Ruby first because it's a bit of a ramp card, and in this particular case we don't have any red that isn't a pain land, so Ruby's particularly nice. So I think here we'll just play this and pass so we can Questing Druid and try and find land to play. So this is fine. Can't stop that. Okay, we'll take the tap land and then we'll play this and then we'll play this. Get a counter there, do 2 damage to face and threaten to flip this. Sadly, this had to go. Okay, so this is 5 colour. Five colour with black lifelink as a... I think we'll go with this, so we can flip this. Like so. They could have a board wipe, which would be sad for us, but... the fact that we've had these 2 targeted removals. Okay, no board wipe. The only thing we have to remove this is Boseiju, I think. Additional land. Okay, they're up to 7. We'll put the counter here so that next turn this is 4 power to trigger Ruby's growth thing. And we get the 1 damage from Raiju, unlike if we put it on itself. Yeah, I think if they just play the Virtue, we're going to win. Maybe they got Wandering Emperor or something. Let's put it on this because we want them to remove that. We win if they don't have a removal. That's not a removal. Okay, so despite having lots of point removal, we still came through. Sweet. Okay, we want to get this mythic. What is it today? The 9th. Reasonably speedy mythic. Obviously, you could just, play for the whole day when at the start of the month and get there at the start, then you place like in the top 50, but it's just, there's not a lot of point, and I have a life, unfortunately. Unfortunately. This is a bit slow for the play. This is better. What do we get rid of? This? Probably. See what they play as to what we do. Red. Okay. Okay, this is actually really good because I can play that now. Take my free counter and not have to waste this. Swift Spear and Kumano. Okay, at least we can kill the Swift Spear with the Tarkir next turn. Ooh. Okay, change of plan. So now we're threatening 5/7. Yeah, we got lethal if they just attack. So let's see. Yeah. Opponent knows it. Let's try and get a land. Well, that was a bit bullshit, wasn't it, really? That was a bit bullshit. We only got 3 lands in the top 11. It was a risk, but it was a low risk, man. So if we draw a land, we can play Druid and Tarkir, pop this to be flying. Interesting that they're going to use it on that. So we're taking 6, 9? No, yeah. Okay, now we have the land. They'd be unlikely to be able to give this flying next turn. So it's what we target with this. Do we kill off like a Kumano or a Swift Spear, or do we go face, put them on 1? The thing is, whether they're on 1 or whether they're on 2 or 3, it doesn't matter too much. Because we can't, I mean, we could force them to block with their Kumano, I suppose, by doing this and attack with both. Or their Swift Spear. Ah, GG. So they can just flashback that, target the Druid. We got a bit screwed there with that Questing Druid. Painful. Yeah, also we had to mulligan against Mono Red, but yeah, we do lose to it sometimes. Okay. Let's hope for a more rounded hand. I mean, this is the whole risk with this deck, right? Because if you get the card you need, you always win. Like, I would say that, unless you're against like some pure board wipe hell, which is possible. But the problem is, look, you just don't get the cards in the order you want them in. What is this now? Why couldn't I have had this on the first go? Is this mono blue? Oh man. There's always some wanker, isn't there? Okay. Okay. My theory here is that they can bounce this. They can't really counter this unless they have a negate, which would be a good use. the bounce of Beastcaller would be the worst case, but they tend to only run the 4 Fading Hopes, which is what they're now digging for. And if not, we turn the Monstrous Rage into 3 damage for 1, so it becomes a lightning bolt. If they do bounce it, we can play this safely, which we can now do unless they have Spell Pierce. And whatever we can get on the board uncountered is just stuff that they either have to deal with or put a blocker in the way. That's the whole play against mono blue, is just try and get your cheap shit down. Yeah, now they've had to do that, which is really good for us, really good. So we can play this, attack with both, and Witchstalker Frenzy this, and then they're in some serious trouble. This is just how you put mono blue in its place. Now they have to counter this. This is coming in. Oh, it's a world of pain. A world of pain for mono blue now. So they got 1 spell really. So I mean, we'll play this, because in theory we can pay 2 for Make Disappear. And then these 2 go through, 6 damage. See if they can count. Oh, it's actually 7 damage because it's trample. Yeah, took them a while to count mono blue player, but they got there. They got there. Oh, that is a nice one to win. That feels nice. So nice to punish the mono blue players, but when you get punished by mono blue, it feels so bad, man. Okay, this is half decent. The double ruby isn't perfect, but okay. Mono red on the draw. It's a nice test. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Can we get ahead? So here, I'm gonna play this first. Force them to lightning strike it this turn, right? Because if they don't, we get counters to put the counter on. We get creatures to put the counters on. So they have to get rid of it this turn. And if they don't, Ruby will grow it, or Kodama, or whatever we choose to do. Kodama is really nice against the mono red because it has reach for the chicks, so no free damage. Yeah. So they knew they had to, which is good for them that they had it, but we forced them to have it, and we stopped them doing any nice 3 mana plays that they may have wanted to do. I think we need to keep their health total going downwards as well, so we will attack. If they can remove Kodama, then fine. They can't, so they can't attack. Don't do that. Okay, do that. That's getting exiled. I'm not sure what that was. At least we have the Boseiju for this as well. It's annoying that we've got quite so much land, 6 in the top 11, but one of them is good. This is just a complete waste in our hand. Ugh. I wanted to try and get that before that thing came in, but never mind. So even if they pump their Squee, it's getting exiled, right? So yeah, which we thought could happen. Then this is gone, that's gone. They've just got a Swift Spear and 1 card, so we are low on health, but and also we got no real cards in our hand, but that's nice. I should get rid of the Swift Spear, I think. And then we'll attack. And just hope that they don't have 2 cards that sum to 7 damage. Shit, they're pretty good 2 cards. Only 4 damage though. How have we got so much land? It is a bit bad. Okay, you must get a land by now, no? Come on, man. This is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Fucking 7 lands and what was that? 11 cards. Ugh, the mythic curse. What I will say about this deck is it feels to get like worse draws than other decks. Like, I don't know. Say that. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. Where's our Kakkazan though? That's what we want turn 1. But beggars can't be choosers, and we're definitely beggars. Kind of want to get Tarkir down first, I think. In this thing is like my general rule is try and play a creature first, so you can then threaten to flip the Tarkir, but playing this on turn 1, it just doesn't, as a first thing you do, just doesn't feel like a good play. And here where we have a hasty flying creature, I think we do just, yeah, guess that 1 damage could matter more than them knowing we have this. So let's just pop at that invasion. And give them something to worry about. They're going to do exactly the same. Play Ruby as an extra blocker. Obviously we've got the dragon. And then we can block and exile. So they could zap this, I suppose. Yeah, play with fire. Man, they've got a perfect play out, haven't they? Really perfect, but they still haven't lost. This is nice because it's a permanent that we can get to come in. These can both be dragons, which means we can kill this. So let's do this. Like this. And then we can kill this. Sadly, the Raiju has to go. And we could still be dead. It depends what this card is. I doubt it's a Squee, but that would be the worst. Okay, that's quite bad, but obviously we block, we take that, and we then win. Okay. And that is why Gruul is better than Mono Red. You heard it here first. Okay. Back on. 1 away from Mythic. Here we go. Sweet. We haven't got a second red source, but If our recent games are anything to go by, we'll draw one. So opponents have the mulligan as well, which means this as a turn 2, 3/3 is gonna be brutal. White, interesting. There's our red source. Okay, blue white. Nice, very, very nice. Okay, we have to play this first for the value. I know it completely cocks up like the ordering, right? Because this could have happened in these two next turn, but playing this out in this order, just you get so much more value. And then we'll hold the Questing Druid. Okay. Interesting that they're running the Virtue of Loyalty. So, what have they got? The Smite? Yeah, nice. God, they're really geared up against mono red. And by proxy, they're geared up against us. But they're using all their cards up, right? So, this could be a Wandering Emperor now in hand. But come on, stop giving me 2 cards. I guess we'll take the Squee, because then we can play both. Although, what if it's just a board wipe? Nah, we'll play this. I suppose what if they have a counter spell? Doesn't feel like the kind of deck for it, does it? It feels more like a Wandering Emperor. We'll put the counter here so that, yeah. They're going to get rid of the Raiju, right?
Run away.
Nope, we tempted them out of it.
My judgment is fine.
So what you do now? This card, man, it's so situational to run it in best of 1. I did it for a while, but it's just so bad in some matchups. Do we go all in? I don't think so. I think we play this. And then we do this. And put our counter here for 1 damage. And we'll hold this just to look more threatening. Any more Wandering Emperors? Union is okay, they've not got many cards. That's nice. I mean, they've still got more cards than us, so. Ooh. If we had 1 more red, we could kill the invasion. We can kill it anyway, I suppose, by doing 2 to 1 of these and then sending everything at it. It's just a bit annoying to have to do that. I don't even want to do this because this is clearly a bullshit board wipe deck. Let's not even kill the invasion. Let's just... Oh, we can kill it like this. Sorry, yeah, what am I saying? But if they've got a depop now, we're in serious trouble. Not that we have many ways of killing this without, it's just a bit more value on the board if we don't do this, but... or a sunfall, and then we're just in serious trouble. Ah, it's coming. Ah, I can feel it. You can feel it in your bones, man. It's pretty much game over because this, I mean, unless we top all of our Questing Druids and we get loads of value that way. Oh, it's so bad. Well, there's one of them. I can't complain. I asked for something and I got it. It's not the ideal cards, is it? We have to go with this. I don't have a counter spell now. How? They literally have what they need. Everything is on point. I think we're doomed. It's not the worst card to draw. What do we need? Shivan Devastator would be a 5/5, 6/6 next turn. That might get us there. This thing's just going to keep growing to a turn now though, so it's a 2-turn clock. Oh, that's some poor form. Oh, I fucking hate board wipes. You know those pivotal moments in games where you can just feel, they've got it, and like, you know, that intuition of like, I know they've got the Sunfall, like you just know it's coming. Have you ever had that situation where they get to 5, you've got 4 powerful creatures on board and they don't have the board wipe? That's never happened. That's never in the history of time happened. They've always got it. Nice. No 1-drop, but whatever, we're used to that. We've only got 6 genuine 1-drops in the deck, so we should get one, but if we don't, it's not too surprising. Are they doing see, whenever someone says hello, that means they've got a perfect opening hand. No one says hello if they've got a bad opening hand. So you know, the bad stuff's coming now. It's going to be a creature, a 2/2 hasting creature, yeah. You just know. They want land, piece of shit. Thank God. We're still in trouble, but now we have a chance of popping this Tarkir, right? At least they're struggling for red. I can't use 2 of those. So this doesn't do it. This would be 3 damage. And this is then just 1. Can we not actually get this to flip this turn? What if we do this for 2? That's just 3 damage. Thing is, we're dead if we don't have a blocker as well. I don't see how we get through this game. We can't block, it gives them cards. If they just have any blinding strike or anything, we just fucked. I'm ready. I'm ready for the concede. You know, as soon as they say hello, they've got the perfect hand. Okay, we've got to start the weighing again now. This has been a little downturn. Soon it won't be a how to get to Mythic with Gruul video, it'll be how to slide down to Diamond 2 with Gruul, which I think has less of a ring to it. in more mono red. At least this mono red is running the wrong cards, and we have a 1-drop this game. Maybe it's not mono red to run this. No, it's not. Yeah, Rakdos. Okay. Play a little Blood Tithe Harvester and an Anvil. Okay, we'll run Ruby into Kumano. Let's just dump it all on the board. There's no board wipes to worry about here, boys. Famous last words. They're going to be running like some really awkward red minus all creatures. So ginger. Nice. Nice. The 1/1 and Scry 1. We gotta get rid of Sir Ginger, right? And then we'll attack this. Okay. Treasure token, yeah. So I think what we're going to do is attack this to try and get a land, and then make them block these. Obviously they can block sack this, but then, yeah, we've got to get through these other shitters at some point. And we really would like a land. Okay, that's a good outcome, getting rid of 2 of them. I know we're getting a little bit low, but the game will close out very quickly if we can get this out. Let's go like this, because we can Witchstalker Frenzy or whatever blocks the ruby. So that's enough damage to trigger that, right? Yeah. Okay, back on winning ways. Let's carry on. This looks good again. Planes on the play. Is it humans? If so, that could be painful. It is humans. We'll Ruby, I think. Do we Kumano? Or do we get him for 2? Let's get him for 2 in this situation. Because they're going to have some big creatures in a minute. And, yeah, like that. I wonder if we attack with Ruby and then use the 2 to kill Adeline, or do we just use the 2 to kill Coppercoat? Probably just kill Coppercoat, don't we? And then we probably Questing Druid, do we? Let's do this, because we'll pretend we've got the combat trick. They did not care. I'm amazed that they blocked. I've never seen anyone block in that scenario. People are so scared of Monstrous Rage. That's really weird. God, another Coppercoat. Do we block one of these 2 ones? I think so. Because we're getting too low. And now we actually have the Monstrous Rage. This person clearly does not know that Monstrous Rage exists as a card. Not that it's gonna win us the game here. It's gonna. This deck's just very fast. Like if they're on the play and they get the good cards, they're running this in Thalia as well. Obviously, yeah, we could have lived, but what's the point? We're already dead. Yikes. Alright. Next one. On the draw again. Against mono red again? Oh, come on, man. Don't do me like this, you dirty game. You're a dirty, dirty game. Feels bad, but we're gonna play this and not attack. Let's see, they could have Monstrous Rage, but, you know, that's the price we pay. They always have it, right? Yeah, they always have it. What am I doing? Ay, ay, ay. What am I doing? I didn't think about this. We need... we just fucked. Oh, I mean, yeah, fair enough. Didn't matter. Just mono red on the draw. Alright. We've got to do a win here, please. We've got to do one. Okay. Red again? Yeah, we'll show it. 3 damage, baby. Swift Spear. Play with Fire or Monstrous Rage as well. No, another Kumano. Oh man, we're in trouble. Okay. That does mean we can flip our invasion. Maybe they can deal with it, that's why they're not bothered. Thing is, we can't even, if we block anything, a Monstrous Rage kills the Thundermaw, so. But we have to block. Can't block this because they gain 2 life when they use Monstrous Rage. Any thoughts on which creature to Monstrous Rage? Ah, just Lightning Strike. Not as bad for us, not as bad for us. They're probably still dead, but there's a very faint glimmer of hope. Yeah, we have to do this, because any instant or sorcery kills us anyway, right? If they shock our face, this wins. Yeah. Okay, fine. They had that all along. Okay, stats time. So as you could see on the video, we did not manage to make the video with this deck. Now, I think the video selection in the deck was probably a little unfair for the deck because it had actually done quite well at a point in the past. However, it's just not going to push us, you know, even if we've managed to get to Mythic with this deck, it's not one that I'm going to want to be playing a lot at Mythic. And this is the main reason. 11 games against mono red and only a 36% win rate. I'm surprised. I am surprised because the green cards that we're adding are kind of low curve things that should be quite good against red. Beastcaller outscales it. Kodama is a nice reach card against it. The Questing Druid is some draw for us. But red is just too high powered with its combat tricks and its removal spells that these aren't doing it. So it's basically, I would say, a worse version of mono red, which I think is reflected in the stats. Do we beat the same decks that mono red beats? Yeah, we beat mono blue, we beat Orzhov. We're doing okay against white and control decks. These are always going to be a bit of a coin flip, especially if we're going first, we'll have more of a chance. Do we struggle against black like red does? Yes, because it's got lots of little removal spells that cut down. It's got life gain removal spell in the Virtue now, and I'm not really sure what these white-green decks, what games were, but yeah, unfortunately, I just still don't think Gruul is that viable at a sort of good level standard at the moment. You could probably pick this deck up if you're playing in gold and have the time of your life, because I think, you know, you'll probably be facing more experimental decks, less sort of a low curve red or very good control decks. However, as soon as you're up into sort of like Diamond Mythic, I do think this deck's going to struggle. Unfortunately, I wanted it to work, it didn't work. It's a shame for me. But I appreciate you watching anyway, you know, my little experiment with Gruul, and those who made it to the end, special thank you as always. Please stay tuned. Till next time, there'll be more videos soon. Bye for now.